All right. Are we good to go, Amanda? We recording?
Yeah.
That one is.
Yep.
All right. Welcome back to the podcast, Redeemed. Thank you so much for joining us. Over the next couple of podcasts, we're going to be talking about the book of Esther, which I do find interesting. It's a very interesting story. Lots of things going on.
Lots of things going on.
Mm-hmm.
Crams a lot into 10 chapters.
Yeah, it's
It
a
does.
short book.
Yeah.
It does, but it's
Short
a
book.
it's kind of action packed. You know what I'm saying?
It's an eventful 10 chapters.
Yeah,
There's not,
eventful. I like that.
There's not one chapter where it lists, because, in a lot of those books,
Genealogy.
you
Yeah.
get a whole chapter or two of genealogy.
No, we hit chapter 1 and we're off and running.
Yeah.
And the fight's on.
It is. I want to start by, I think it's important to kind of give a little bit of background into what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Just as we kind of jump into this. So we're going to cover a few chapters here. Like I said, we're probably going to kind of cut the book in half and make a couple podcasts out of it. Because I think there's a couple good lessons here we can learn from it. So what do we have going on? Well, we have King Xerxes, however you want to say it. Xerxes. There we go.
How are you saying it?
Say it again.
Xerxes?
Nope.
Xerxes?
Zerk?
I say
Xerxes?
Xerxes.
Okay, we'll go with Michael's
I don't know if that's
pronunciation.
right,
I like
but-
it.
I know it's right.
Oh, okay.
He's the king
I'm
of the Medes and the Persians.
Yeah.
And don't quote me on this, but I think at that time the Persian Empire was the biggest empire at that time.
Let's roll with that. Quote him.
So
He's
if you
the
want to do some
largest
research
empire.
on that, but I was trying to think back into what I learned in history, and I believe
We're going to get what's that warning that pops up?
Misinformation.
Yeah.
Misinformation.
we're
We're
going
gonna
with
get misinformation
it's
label.
okay. Levi watches; he'll fact check.
Yeah,
me. It'll be
Levi
okay.
fact check that
Uh-huh.
for us.
Yeah.
But
Haven't
I'm-
seen a comment in a little while, Levi.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that if they weren't the biggest, they had a very big empire.
Yes, they did.
It says right here in the first chapter, he ruled over 127 provinces that stretched from India to Kush. Now, from the little map I can see here on the side, that's a pretty big area.
Yes, I'm trying to see what modern day Kush is, but it doesn't show me on this map. It just shows me.
I
it
think
shows
it's
me how
Turkey.
large.
I think it's Turkey, isn't it?
That sounds right.
Yeah, I think it's Turkey.
Those
so anyway,
are not too close to each other, especially in those times.
yeah. But that being said,
No airplanes.
big empire here. Okay, he was very rich. He's very powerful.
Yes.
And he wanted to show that off. So he goes about the process of showing off how great and mighty and how rich he was. And he did this for 180 days. My commentary says
That's a party.
that's about the equivalent to 6 months. So
Your
that's
commentary told you that?
that's what it says right there.
What about basic math?
I don't know. I didn't calculate. You know me in math. I don't do math.
Oh my goodness.
How many days are in a year? Let's break this down.
What? I didn't have to do the math. The commentary said it, so therefore we can go with the commentary. I don't
Great
understand
job.
the problem
Well-
here.
Great job.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why should I have to do the math? No, just kidding. All right.
Wasn't ready for that.
Michael, thank you. We all know I can't do math. Why do you gotta keep bringing this up?
That's fair.
You brought it up.
But he knows he can't do math, so he's going by the commentary.
Exactly.
He's like, listen, if I calculated it, it's probably like 10 months. I don't know.
Exactly.
Less than
Graham.
3 years. 180 days. That was a 4-year party.
It's a big party. Anyway, back on track. And the last thing he did was he had a banquet that lasted 7 days.
Yeah.
And during that banquet, he thought it would be cool to have his Queen Vashti at that time, come out, and because she was very pretty.
Yep.
Notably so. And have her come out wearing the royal robes and all this good stuff, and that everybody could look at her and, oh, how wonderful she was. You know what I'm saying? That type of thing.
Classy.
Like she was just another trophy that he had.
Yeah.
It was literally that.
Yep,
Yeah.
just another trophy. Now, it doesn't go quite as planned because they send word to Vashti, Queen Vashti, that she needed to do this. Guess what she said? She says, no, not doing it. Which I can understand from her perspective.
I would have loved to have seen Xerxes' face when, and then whoever had to go back and say, she said no.
You want to go tell him, or should we get the new guy
They're
to tell
doing
him?
rock, paper, scissors out in the hallway. Yeah.
I'm not telling him.
You said what? No.
You said no. Are you sure? Can you come with me and tell him? He's gonna be angry.
I'm pretty sure he was looking like, is that even an answer she can give? I thought the king said something.
I'm
No.
gonna scroll through the book.
Yeah.
That's not in the manual.
So they, of course, bring the answer back to the king. This, of course, makes the king real happy. No.
Furious and burned with anger.
Yep.
I
And-
feel like he's overreacting a little bit. Like,
Probably.
I mean, really?
But you have to understand he's been partying for 7 days. That's a lot of alcohol.
6 months
That
prior to
is-
that too.
Yeah, and 6 months prior
He
to that.
finished it with a 7-day bender.
So I mean, come on. I don't think he was in the right frame of mind, which you're going to kind of see because after all this is done, you can kind of tell he kind of regrets his decision.
Good.
But
I think he needs to calm down a little bit.
But at that moment, he doesn't calm down.
no.
Okay.
Explosive anger.
Yep. He's mad. He's burning with rage. He talks to his advisors, and of course, they say that this is going to start a whole revolution for women, and they're not going to want to obey their husbands anymore, and it's just going to be bad. So you can't let that happen, and so we need to dispose of her. So that's what he does. He disposes of Queen Vashti.
Clearly the answer.
Yep. keep
Some
the
may
women down,
say
right?
that he
It's the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah, only thing that makes
he
sense.
might have escalated a little much.
Yeah, holy cow.
Just a little bit.
Might have gone a little far.
So then, of course, Vashti is just disposed of, and that's the end of her.
See you later.
Then later, after his fury had kind of calmed down a little bit, the king decided that what? He kind of missed having a queen.
Oopsies.
So,
Maybe I overreacted a
Yeah.
bit.
Just sitting in his throne. Oopsie daisy.
I did what?
and so then,
Who let me do that?
yeah,
Not
Why do
one
I
of you
listen-
said that was a bad idea.
why do I listen to you people?
Everybody else got fired too.
But do they get fired or do they get their head chopped off?
Probably
I
gets
mean,
I don't think it doesn't sound like Xerxes was big on firing.
no, it kind of sounded like he was the law, and if you didn't like it, tough beans. But so then his personal attendants propose another plan to him, and basically it's we need to find you a new one. So let's search the kingdom for the most beautiful virgins there are.
Yep.
And so of course, why wouldn't the king be on board with that? He needs a new queen. Which, like I said before, as we were discussing this before, like didn't he have a whole harem? Why
He did.
couldn't he have just promoted one of them? I don't know.
All these are just verse 3. Let the king appoint commissioners in every province of this realm to bring all these beautiful young women into the harem at the citadel of Susa.
So then I guess the question is, did he return them after he was done, or did he just keep them?
You know the answer to that.
He kept them. That's what I thought.
That's. I don't know if it says that, but I highly doubt they got to go home.
Yeah. But that being said, I don't think it was a bad way of life for those women, because probably a lot of those people were coming from
Poor family.
Yeah.
poor families and poverty and stuff like that. Now, some of them were probably nobles. You come from a nobility. I
And
don't think that they were just looking at they were looking across the whole board.
Yeah, and I'm sure. I doubt everybody wanted to go.
Yeah. Oh no. But what are you going to do? You couldn't do anything. The king summoned it. This is what's going to happen. You got to do it.
Fact. Did you hear about the last lady?
Yeah.
Last lady said no.
Oh, and you had to know that did stick in their mind. You know, him making an example of Vashti definitely.
Yeah, she wouldn't walk into the dining
Right.
room.
Yeah,
Right.
which
Killed her.
Yeah. And that had to have some kind of
That had to get out.
bleed over effect
Yeah.
onto them.
like, yeah, it got out.
So in comes our main character, Esther.
Woo.
Yep, she was a very beautiful young girl. And in essence, the king liked her so much, was so impressed with her that he made her queen.
Yep.
I mean, that's it in a nutshell.
Yep. Spark
Now,
notes.
The interesting part is that you can I don't want to say you can see God moving in the background to be able to put Esther in a place of power where she is going to be able to do an amazing thing. Now, I don't believe that if you had actually sat down with Esther at the beginning of this and talked about it, that she could have seen that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
To her, this was just all doing what was required because the king said so.
Yeah, so doing what she had to do.
Right. Yeah, for her and for her family. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And so I don't think that she looked at it and said, well, God has just put me here for a purpose, and so I just need to do it. No, I don't think that was it. She was just trying to survive. But God has a way of putting people where he needs them to accomplish things when the time comes. And that's kind of what we're moving into. So we've got this guy named Haman.
Probably talk about Mordecai too.
Yeah.
We're going to get to him.
Calm down, Michael. Jeez.
I want to speak on Mordecai.
Okay, you can speak on Mordecai. But I think we got to make mention of Haman. He was one of the upper nobles. Yes. He was one of the. It seems like he's one of the king's more favorite ones.
Yeah.
Because he had more of a place of position than the rest. He liked having that power, and he liked people to know that he had the power. And so one of those things he wanted people to do when he walked by was to bow down before him. Mm-hmm. Enters
Mordecai, who said, "Nah, man, you're not the king."
Yeah. Mordecai is Esther's cousin.
Yes. Who looked after her.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Which I kind of see him almost like the father figure.
Yeah.
It kind of sounds that way.
Yeah.
When they describe Mordecai.
Yeah.
I think it actually says, I don't know if it uses the word adopted, but took her in or something like that.
Yeah.
And so Mordecai's been taking care of him. Now Mordecai has been in the, I believe he's in the service of the king and has been for a little while.
Yes. Kings.
But I can't remember exactly what it was that they said.
King's guards down south for some reason, but don't quote me on that.
The commentary just said that it was likely he gained a position in the king's service.
Okay.
Because it just says that he sat at the gate.
Yeah.
The king's gate.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I remember, sitting at the king's gate, but I didn't remember why he was sitting at the king's gate.
I don't know if it ever does say anything.
There you go. Levi, figure that one out.
Figure that one out too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Boy, got homework.
But that doesn't have so much bearing on the story as the fact that he and Mordecai and Haman don't get along, and because Mordecai won't bow down, Haman comes up with this plan to wipe him out, but not only him.
That's again we go with this escalation. I wonder if it was Haman's idea to kill the
Get them all, so we get that guy.
Yeah.
But what about
which I think is
Isn't
one of the
that
drawbacks of
after
Haman's.
Mordecai finds out about the plot to kill the king? I thought first Mordecai figured out the plot
and told Esther to, right? Wasn't that before Haman decided?
Yeah, it's in because at the end of chapter 2, Mordecai.
Yeah, because
first
Mordecai
he did that.
he saves the king's life.
So he found out about people plotting to kill the king. He told Esther to tell the king, and then the king was, of course, grateful.
Then they investigated it. It was true, and they impaled the two people that were going to assassinate the king.
And she gave credit to Mordecai.
Yep. So then it worked out well for
So then
Esther
he likes
and
Mordecai.
And Mordecai.
Yeah.
Definitely got him some good graces if you save the king's life.
Yeah.
And then
You know what
we
I'm
go
saying?
to
Then
Haman.
Yep.
That's why I wanted to speak on Mordecai first.
Okay.
I was just trying to shorten it a little bit, okay?
But you left out like a pretty key detail. Of
Okay, my bad.
Mordecai
I left out
saving
the
the king's
conspiracy.
life.
Okay, yes, he saved the
Then
king's life.
Haman comes in and is like, "Listen, this guy won't bow down to me. Let's kill
Because it was
everyone."
after those events that it says here the king honored Haman, son of
Yes.
whatever his name, the Agite.
Hammedatha.
Yeah. And gave him a seat of honor higher than all of that of the other names. So
Yeah.
that actually took place after that. Okay, I understand that. Like I said, I was just trying to compress the story a little bit.
Haman was literally number 2.
He was. That's the way I read it. That's the way I read it.
I'm reading it here,
Yeah, he was second only to the king.
Anyway,
And so
Haman wants to kill all the Jews.
Because
Exactly.
pretty much all because Mordecai won't kneel before him.
Yep. Mordecai says no, I'm not doing it.
Sounds
Because-
like an angry little guy.
Yeah, he does.
I think so. Like I said, Haman liked the power. He liked being known that he had power, and he wanted to make sure everybody else knew he had the power.
And it was probably very embarrassing that Mordecai would not kneel before
Yep,
him.
exactly. So much so that it just ate at him and ate at him and ate at him. As we kind of see as it kind of escalates, I mean, to the point where he's making this pole for Mordecai to be impaled on. That's what do we decide? 70 feet?
50 cubits, which comes out to about 75 feet tall.
Now, to me, I don't know, but that
It's
seems
a
like
large
overkill.
pole.
That seems like it's overkill.
It's too high. You'd look up there and you wouldn't know who it was.
So as this is progressing, you can kind of see where it's building. Now, Haman made a couple of mistakes.
Fact.
One of the mistakes was he didn't realize that the queen was a
Jew.
Jew. And that is going to bite him in the end.
Yes,
Matter of fact, that's what's going to cause the whole plan to unravel.
Spoiler alert.
Mm-hmm.
Just killed the second episode.
I do what I can. You want me to tell you about some movies? I'm good at that too. Which one has just come out? Do you want the ending for it?
Okay.
But it sets the stage.
Yes.
Okay? So we have everything that has led up to this point where she has been made queen. Mordecai has saved the king. He passed that information on to Esther. Esther told the king and saved the king's life. Okay, so we got some things moving in that progression.
Building some trust, building some goodwill.
Exactly. And so she was still in the king's good graces.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
He elevates this guy named Haman, which he probably didn't know Haman was all of this. You know what I'm saying? Haman was probably doing a good job from the aspect of ruling and what he was supposed to do, doing his job. Because I wouldn't guess that the king would elevate somebody to that high of a position if he wasn't doing a good job. So Haman was probably doing a good job. The king probably didn't know all the other stuff that was going on.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, the rest of the story would have to take place. But we have this setting where Queen Esther is in a place where she's going to be able to save her people. That's what's going to happen. Now, she's going to have to make a choice on whether she's going to do that or not, but she's in a position where she can save her people.
Yep.
Now, do you think that's by accident? I do not.
No.
I sure don't.
And I think that's part of the reason why this book is in the Bible, is I believe that God has a plan. Sometimes we don't know what it is, and I know we've said that 100 times, but I think it's
because
we still don't know.
It's always true.
Yeah, it's always there. You know what I'm saying? It's like God puts people in position to accomplish the things he wants done. Yeah. So God didn't want his Jewish people wiped out, so he put somebody there who could help in that process.
Yep.
And that person was Esther.
Yeah, it wasn't an accident that she was the one that caught the king's eye out of however many, probably hundreds of women they brought in.
Oh, probably more than that. 127 provinces, and if they went to all of them...
That's a good point. It was probably over 1,000 women.
Yeah, I bet so.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was one of the prettiest. You think that was by accident? Nah, I don't think so.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? God had a plan.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the reason I think that's important is because I think as redeemed Christians, we need to be aware of the positions and places that we are. Because God may put us someplace where he needs to do something.
And we normally will not realize that until the time comes.
That is it.
And a lot of time we don't realize it until after the time has come.
It's like, oh, darn, missed that one.
Uh-huh.
So I believe that as redeemed Christians, we need to be aware.
Yes.
We need to be looking around saying, why is it that God has me here? Now, sometimes it may not make any sense to us. But if we're asking and looking, guess what? We might be able to get that moment when it comes.
Right.
You know, we don't want to be like Captain Jack Sparrow, you know? Those like to watch those moments as they pass by. You know what I'm saying? That's not what we want, you know?
Nope.
I like to wave at them as they pass by. You know?
In those moments.
We want to be there. You know, and you don't there was your moment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure.
So we don't want to miss them. As redeemed Christians, we want to be in the Word, we want to be praying, we want to be looking to see what the Lord is doing with us so that if those opportunities do come, we can step forward and do it.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks for joining us. See you next time.